head out to the team hotel and check in with Omar Ruiz, who is covering the Patriots all week for us. And Omar, they have been there before. This is the 8th Super Bowl for Tom Brady. What are the final preparations like right now?
Well, you mentioned the practice yesterday in shells and a helmet. The pads were popping on Wednesday. They also did shells and helmet on Thursday. Today, they'll get through that walkthrough, poring over every last detail. Remember, a few years ago, it was in these final days of preparation when the Patriots coaching staff specifically warned Malcolm Butler about that Seahawks goal line formation that eventually led to Butler's game-saving, game-sealing, Super Bowl-winning interception. They've been preaching routine these past 2 weeks. Center David Andrews telling me they cannot get bored with preparation. They cannot relax on it. They'll maintain that focus on preparation all the way through kickoff here some more than 24 hours from now.
And 2 days ago, Omar, we heard that Rob Gronkowski was out of concussion protocol. He has practiced the last 2 days, and I know that is not good news for the Eagles defense. What type of threat does he pose to that defense?
We know it's a huge emotional lift for these Patriots, but of course, more importantly, the Patriots are very aware about the mismatch that Rob Gronkowski poses on the field, perhaps the biggest mismatch in football. Safety for the Eagles, Malcolm Jenkins telling me he's very confident that no matter which personnel grouping the Patriots throw out there on offense, they have versatility and experience in their linebacking core and in their secondary to match up with that personnel. Except for Rob Gronkowski. There is no 6'6", 265-pound member of that Eagles defense that can run the way Rob Gronkowski can run. So Jenkins saying the key to slowing down Gronk is to not let him get catches behind the defense. If they can let him do his damage in front of them and then make the tackle at the point of the attack, they'll have some chance to slow down the huge X factor that is Rob Gronkowski.
Even if they're able to stop Rob Gronkowski, the scary part is we saw what happened against the Jaguars when Danny Amendola stepped up with Rob Gronkowski out at the end of that game. So there are so many threats on that Patriots offense. Thanks a lot, Omar Ruiz, reporting with the Patriots. As for the Eagles, they held their final practice yesterday. Nick Foles at the helm. He has led them all the way through the playoffs with Carson Wentz out. So Super Bowl 52, 24 hours away. Only 6 players on that Eagles roster have Super Bowl experience. So let's welcome James Palmer in to talk a little bit more about this Eagles team right now. And James, one thing that we have seen with Nick Foles at quarterback, the Eagles offense has gotten very creative. Break that down for us.
It really has. Nick Foles should get a lot of credit, Amber, for what's happened throughout these playoffs, but it's the offensive coaching staff that deserves a lot of credit as well, and it's the backgrounds that they have, this variety of backgrounds they come from. Remember, there's guys on this staff that were part of Chip Kelly's team before Doug Peterson got here, and all those different ideas come together throughout the week. I talked to quarterback coach John T. Filippo, who told me, man, the number of things that are thrown against the wall, the variety of plays, schemes, ideas, he says it's endless, and what they do is they take those, they have the ability to now mold them to what Nick Foles does best, because obviously a different skill set than Carson Wentz, and they've been able to do that throughout the week to find ways to make him successful. Remember, RPOs, they run play action more. Zach Ertz now running a lot more out routes with Nick Foles as the quarterback as opposed to Carson Wentz. So that variety has been very important during the week, but also in game. As I talked to tight end Zach Ertz, who said, when we play our first drive and that's over, the success we've had offensively this season has been because we've been able to change things and adapt in game as well.
And a lot of Eagles players have stepped up with the absence of Carson Wentz. And Nelson Aguilar, he's one of those players that when you look at where he was at the beginning of the season, very low on the depth chart. Take me through his rise to being a major part of this roster.
Yeah, it's really incredible. You remember, he was a first-round pick a couple of years ago, and then he's benched last season, has some productivity, some mental issues in terms of concentration, slides into the slot this year, and look at him, 8 touchdowns out of the slot. That's tops in the NFL. And the guy who was picked in the next round by the Eagles, Eric Rowe, he's now a corner for the New England Patriots. I talked to him, and he spends a lot of time in the slots, and he said the confidence level that I see in Nelson Aguilar right now is just far and away different than we were teammates when we just a couple of years ago. And Eric Rowe, that is a matchup that Nelson Aguilar should win, giving up 20.1 yards per reception when he's lined up in the slot. That's a big advantage for Nelson Aguilar. And I also talked to Malcolm Butler, who possibly could be sliding into that slot spot. So keep an eye for Malcolm Butler maybe spending some time against Nelson Aguilar.
All right, good stuff. Thanks so much, James Palmer, reporting on the Eagles. Still to come here on Super Bowl Live, we are checking in with the Eagles fans who are out at Nicollet Mall, a rally. They're throwing T-shirts, and probably the Eagles fans will throw snowballs back at them. Knowing how this fan base works, we love it. The energy is high.